Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceuticals brought us in to look at their drug development teams. And they wanted to know, why are some drug development teams just soaring and why are some not? So we did the same thing. And so anyway, over the years, we came up with a model that is somewhat generic, but things that we saw over and over again, regardless of the kind of work that you did. They don't have to be superstars. What you have to have are routines that use the talent in the room. So these other researchers looked at, if you put a group of geniuses together without good norms, do they perform? How well do they perform? Well, they don't perform that well. But if you put a group of mediocre people together, still with the skills you need, then they will outperform those geniuses as long as they have great routines and they're using the talent in the room. They're not only listening to a few geniuses, they're listening to everybody and they're using the knowledge and they're paying attention and building on one another's ideas and affirming one another's contributions, because that's what it takes. People are funny when they get in teams. They like to be affirmed. It's natural. It's a natural thing. Neuroscience will tell you that as soon as they're not affirmed, as soon as their ideas plop and get ignored, they start to focus on themselves rather than the team's task. And that's a recipe for disaster. The other thing we mentioned in the model are a couple things that are not normative, but they are clear goals, clear roles, well-run meetings. We call those fundamentals. We don't want people to forget about those, but we also don't want you to think that that's what makes you outstanding.
That's kind of baseline.
It's baseline.
Right? If I remember correctly from our last conversation, you need those to just get started.
Yes. And I always tell teams that's where you got to start when you're building a team. If you don't have clear goals, you're going to have conflict. People are going to argue about things. Roles, one of the biggest things people argue about is when they think they see people not working so hard, but their role is different. The other three clusters of norms, one focuses on how we support one another's success. And that's about respecting one another, paying attention, caring, and caring about their development, giving them feedback. We call that norm, addressing unproductive behavior. Sometimes we call it unhelpful behavior. We have various words that we use. And the third is just basically getting to know them. This is critical. This is, if I don't know what you bring to the team, if I don't know your skills, if I don't know your strengths, if I don't know your weaknesses, it's kind of akin to a sports team where I'm passing you the ball and I don't know which side, let's call it soccer or global football, whatever you want to call it. If I'm passing you the ball, I need to know how you like to receive it, or I need to remember where you're going to be standing on the pitch so that I can kick it. I know you're going to. There's things we need to know about one another that help us work better with them, right? So that's that first bucket. Second bucket is about constantly assessing the team and, combining both optimism and pessimism so that you're getting really proactive at looking at what could go wrong, but also being optimistic about the future. And then the third bucket is about reaching outside the team to get resources that can make you stronger. Way too many teams think they've got everything that they need. And they start to think, once you start to get stronger, you start to think that everybody else is lesser than you, right? There's that in-group, out-group. Well, that doesn't happen in the great teams because they're always reaching out and looking for things they don't know. And it does happen. It happens in any team, but not as much.